Hello. Okay, so this morning I'm gonna do a little bit different kind of live. What's today? Today is the 12th. Can't believe it's like already the middle of July. It's crazy. Alright. Yeah. We're gonna do a little bit different of a live today. And I'm mostly just doing this for the video that's gonna be posted after I'm done. So if it's not too relevant for you right now, that's totally fine. This was just kind of like weighing on me a little bit, and I just kind of want to talk about it a little bit. So in the last 6 years, I feel like I have sort of woken up, if you will. I don't know how to even start this. I don't really have a plan on how to start this or talk about this, but let's get personal. So, went through a breakup at the end of 2019, graduated college, and after the breakup, I really felt like, okay, I need to literally do something different now. I need to change my life. I was with that person for like 3 years at that point. I really thought that that was gonna be like it for me. I'm so glad that it didn't work out because the last 6, 7 years of my life have been completely investing in myself, healing myself, working on myself. I spent the first like 3 or 4 years journaling, books, like literally writing books about my emotions, how I felt, reflections on my life, the things that I've gone through. And I really truly believe that going through that process, going through that breakup, obviously, but then going through that reflection process. I'm just gonna leave my comic up here if you guys are interested. But going through that reflection process was so key and so important for me to be able to come out with the insights that I have now for the story that I'm writing right now. It was so important. I've been trying to write for years. I'm 31, I'm about to be 32 years old, and I've been trying to write since I was like 9, 10 years old. I have not been able to complete or successfully complete a story or even publish a story or share any of my writing until last year. So, what helped me to get to that point was spending between 2019 to 2025 literally working on myself. Like, no men, no sex, literally just fully engaged with myself and healing myself, really connecting with myself, really trying to figure out what my triggers are, what in my past is causing me to go through suffering now, and spending that time journaling and reading some of these books that I'm going to rapid fire through with you guys tonight or this morning. Reading some of these books was so key for me to get that validation of where I was on that journey of healing. I spent the first maybe like year and a half or so of this kind of awakening, going through it myself, and then eventually I got a mentor. This mentor that I had was definitely an experience. It was definitely one of those experiences that was like good and also held up a mirror to myself of my, again, like my triggers and like what was wrong with me, because I couldn't blame him for anything. Everything that happened, I had to sit and reflect on, like, no, this is me. Like, I have to accept the decisions and things that I've made and the decisions and things that I've made that's led me to this moment right now with him. But anyway, so working with this mentor though, besides some of the things I had to go through, some of the things that he did teach me, um, I have thought about and reflected on a lot in the last several years. And one of the things that he emphasized, well, there was a couple things that he emphasized. One of the things was taking care of your health. And I remember him emphasizing this so much to me. And at that point, I was fully healthy. I was, working out, like, didn't have any real care in the world. I was also like 25. So I thought I had like a bunch of time left still. How wrong was I? um, he always emphasized take care of yourself. Your health is wealth, and nothing can replace that. And I was like, yeah, 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 I'm healthy, like totally fine. And then literally last year, at the beginning of last year, I broke my leg. Never have I ever broken a leg, bone, anything needed surgery besides when I had my C-section for my son. Never in my life have I had anything like that happen. I slipped at school, broke my foot and my leg. If you guys are like on my channels, you might see the video of like the surgery scar and everything. That event, that situation completely altered my reality. Like, going through my entire life, fitness, exercise, health, like that's part of the reason why Gia is a physical therapist. Literally, I went through physical therapy school, and everything that I've kind of learned is going to be putting that into practice in this story, right? With her being a physical therapist, with this being like a medical story, right? I spent my whole life like that. So when I broke my leg, broke my foot, and I was in a wheelchair for the majority of last year up until like October, like around September, October was when I first started being able to like really walk again. Complete altered reality. I became so appreciative of the small things, like being able to go to the bathroom, being able to like take a shower, being able to lay in my bed comfortably, like just really small things that now I think about all the time. And luckily at that time when I did break my leg, I live in an accessible unit, like apartment. Thank God, because there's no elevator in my apartment. And I remember when I first moved in here and I was like complaining a little bit about the fact it was accessible because some of the things are different. And never have I been more grateful to have had this apartment. So I'm saying these things because when things look like they're a problem, they're a barrier, or things are like holding you back, or it's not what you want, or whatever the hell is going on, sometimes it's meant to be that way for a reason. Do you feel me? Are you hearing what I'm saying to you? Like, sometimes when we feel like it's the worst thing in the world, sometimes those things are meant to be that way for a reason. When my ex broke up with me at the end of 2019, I was like so devastated. 3 years, we both had kids, like I thought I was going to be with him forever, just for him to break up with me and then literally, get married like a year later, but we're not going to talk about that part. We're not going to talk about that part. But at that time, I felt like, wow, like I'm devastated. What's my life going to be like? What am I going to do? Like, how do I move forward? And that shit was the best fucking shit that happened to me in my life, was to get out of that situation, like I said at the beginning of this live, and start living for myself and truly investing in myself. And the person I was when I was with him, don't even know her. Don't even know her now. I can't even, like, I'm so grateful. I love her. I love who I was because she got me to this point where I am now. But I had to put so much work in the last 6 years to become this person that I am now, where I have a fucking published comic, guy. my comic is out here. You guys are reading it, like finally starting to get some traction on social media. Like things are really starting to happen. Like things that I never ever thought that I could ever have achieved. And that's just this. Like I spent the last 5 years, 6 years, 5 years being a content creator, working with brands, traveling, doing a bunch of stuff. I made my own business. I had a beauty brand in the first couple years after my awakening, and it was amazing. I was a photographer. I was like the like I did all the fucking jobs doing that brand. Things after I broke up with that man, I never thought that I in my life would have ever done, and I'm so grateful to have gone through that experience with him, but I'm also so grateful for the universe opening up another door for me and forcefully doing so because he left me. So the universe said, "Listen, I'm shutting this shit for you because you're clearly not doing it yourself." And sometimes life is like that. Just like when I broke my leg last year, like, I don't know, really, still, I'm trying to figure what the fuck that was about. But either way, what I'm starting to see now, a year and a half later, is like, not only did that open my eyes to my health at that time, not only just my physical health, but my mental health and the state that I was in, because I was struggling a little bit, it slowed me all the way down. Like, slowed me fucking down all the way. And sorry if I'm swearing a lot, that's just naturally how I talk. So, the title of my comic is right here. It slowed me down all the way. I actually wrote this story and got the story out in the beginning of the year when I was in bed on, medication. Literally, I don't even know still how I got through the webtoon contest because I was like on DRUGS the whole time. But somehow we made it through, and I was in pain and like bedridden the whole time, but we fucking did it. And now look where we are now. You guys have been supportive, and we have so many episodes of this comic out now, and I'm so grateful for every single day that I've had, even if there was pain, even if there was barriers or struggles. But my point in saying what I was just saying was that, again, to what I was saying initially, to it all really comes back down to your mindset. All these things that have happened to me, I could have looked at it and been like, wow, like my life is shit, and stayed there. But I had to do some of the things that my mentor had told me then. Meditate, journal, reflect, take accountability. That was like the biggest fucking thing. Besides, take care of your health. Your health is wealth. He always said, take accountability for your shit. Stop blaming other fucking people. Especially at that point, I was like 25 then. He's like, you're a grown ass woman. Take responsibility for your shit. Whatever your fucking parents did, whatever your boyfriend did, whatever your fucking kids did, whatever the fuck your friends did, doesn't fucking matter. You have to take responsibility for your life right fucking now. That was the thing he told me that I think helped me shift way faster than anything else, was when I started seeing things less in a blame lens point of view and turning it around and seeing where I need to work on myself. Okay? So I'm saying all these things. I'm getting really personal with you guys right now because I want you to also understand that making this comic and writing the story is very therapeutic for me. It's very healing for me because, like I said, in those first few years where I was journaling everything, really reflecting, a lot had come up for me during that time that I realized was actually hindering me in my life so much that I was so blind to it because my mind was protecting itself so much that it was, again, blaming everything else, staying with the hurt, seeing things as barriers and things like that. So once I started reflecting on those things, certain things came up, and when I started writing this story, When the Silent Bird Sings, it was like the second part of my healing journey because I had to really take um I'm sorry, my English is bad. So you talk about yourself or something. Yeah, I'm just kind of like ranting right now. I'm not looking at the comments right now. So if somebody knows where to find my story, please let other people know. You can find it on an app called Lamoon. It's all in my bio. But this was the second part of my healing journey. The first part was really doing some deep shadow work, some deep reflective work. This is the second part of my healing journey, personally, me personally, Ginny's. And I put a lot of myself in this. And for one, for you guys, for entertainment, things like that. But the actual story, like, yeah, we do like fun videos and things. Like, I like to, make it kind of light and fluffy on my social media channels. But the story itself is actually kind of deep, but and serious. It's like a little bit serious of a tone compared to the social media content. But this story is me trying to take the years of reflection and self-work that I've done and make it make sense for this next part of my life journey. Bio is if you go on my YouTube channel, I have a bunch of links on my YouTube channel. And as a creative, what's beautiful about being a creative is that everybody kind of handles their things differently. Everybody kind of does things differently. But being creative is really taking all these things that are inside of us and putting it into something and making something out of it. And I love that for art and I love that for writing because, like I said, doing this story really has allowed me to reflect on a lot of pain and happiness and a lot of emotions that I've personally gone through, but process it, filter it in a way that is tangible, makes sense, and is something that I can share with other people. And doing this is it's something I'm really proud of because, like I said, I've been trying to write since I was 9 years old, 10 years old, almost over 20 years. And so to finally get to the point where I've woken up so much that I'm able to have these kind of deeper reflections and deeper insights on life and love and relationships and emotions and things like that, like really really coming into like my emotional intelligence, this is something I'm really proud of because, like I said, I've gone through a lot in my life, and a lot of that I had gone through was struggle, was survival, was not being able to fully deeply reflect on things because I was always in survival mode, was blaming people for my pain, for my hurt, not taking accountability because it was easier to point a finger at my mom or my dad not there or whatever the fuck I did and had to go through growing up and all this shit, or whatever happened in school, or I didn't have this and I didn't have that growing up. And too much pain and too much hurt will not allow you to be able to fully deeply reflect on things. So now I'm at a point in my life where I can do that, and I hope in doing that and putting it, packaging it into the story can hopefully reach somebody else. That is truly why I'm creating this story and showing up for you guys and doing all these things, because I really hope that besides like the fun social media stuff and like the sexy stuff on Patreon and all that stuff that we do that's just fun, the deeper messages in my story eventually that will come up hopefully will reach at least one person. And maybe that one person can have some kind of shift in them or realization, or it just helps them in some way to maybe connect deeper with themselves, and then they can become, you know, or it might help them more to go on to their journey of enlightenment and sort of insight and self-reflection and things, because it's so hard to do this on your by yourself, and sometimes it really does come to the point of all or nothing. Like I said, when my ex broke up with me and I was literally I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna do, and then COVID happened and it was like, what is going on? Sometimes it comes to the point where you have absolutely nothing, that something comes out of it, if that makes sense. So I talked a lot about myself, but the reason why I did that, I have my comic up here, but the reason why I did that is because I have a bookshelf in my apartment with about 30 books or so, all self-help books that I've just collected over the last 6 7 years or so. And I just wanted to throw some of these titles out, if maybe it intrigues one of you guys, somebody who comes across these videos, and maybe can help them in some way, because some of these books really had some really good things in it that have helped me. Some of these books I haven't even read yet, but some of these I have, and it was helpful. A lot of these are self-help. Some of these are specifically for like more business stuff and things like that. But if you're a creator, and I'm speaking to you guys, but I'm also speaking to whoever sees this video after. If you're a creator, a writer, a business person, have any intention on doing any of that, or even just, like I said, in general, just maybe you just had enough and it's just time to maybe try something different, and maybe try to get your mindset right, some of these books I think might help. So this one right here that I'm holding right here, The Mountain Is You. I still haven't read this all the way through, because right about in here it got too fucking real for me. it got too real for me. But that's what's really good about some of these books and doing this kind of work, is that you really will feel triggered, you really will feel pain, and you really will start to realize some things about yourself. And it's hard. I know I just said, like, I haven't even finished this book because it got too real, but trust me, I've still been doing stuff to continue working on myself, and also going to therapy and things. But it's so important to push through when things are hard. And if you need help, reach out to get help, you know, to somebody that you can trust. If you have somebody, if you don't, there's a lot of services nowadays. I feel like things are a lot more accessible than like when I was growing up, and mental health and things is much more widely accepted as a real thing nowadays than even when I was growing up, like when I was in the early 2000s and things like that. So you guys have a lot of resources now. But this book right here, it's called The Mountain Is You by Brianna Weist. I'm not really sure how you say her name. Transforming self-sabotage into self-mastery. If you're somebody that really has a hard time with taking accountability, this is definitely a book for you. That's a really good one. That's the first one I can recommend. Now, this is another book that I bought, and I think I got through, I got up to like right here. I didn't even get much more into this book. Now, I bought these books and really started a lot of these books like a couple years ago. This is Complex PTSD from Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. Okay, I have complex PTSD. I've been through a lot of shit in my life. And this is really enlightening, because it really will hold a mirror to your life, and it will also help you to become more educated about the things that you might have been going through, or that you might have gone through in your life, or yeah, or are currently going through. And I think that's really important because, like I said, when I woke up and I started to really experience the world for what it was and was no longer surviving, because when you're surviving, it feels like you're just like sleepwalking through life. Things are happening to you. You might go through things, experience things. You might even experience things that are happy or painful, but because you're so numb and you're so dissociated, you're not fully present. So that's why I keep saying like I woke up, because that's how it felt. I felt like I was literally asleep. It felt like I had experienced things. I knew I had gone through things, but it wasn't until I woke up that I was like, oh shit, like, yeah, that did actually happen, and that's fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, and I could finally feel the way it was supposed to feel, and I could finally start to be like, yeah, I didn't deserve to go through those things. Yeah, like, it's not my fault. Stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So really starting to become educated on these kind of things, I think, is so important. If you've experienced it. If you haven't, well, good for you. I don't know. But if you have, then definitely this is another book. More of the education side. Again, sorry if I'm not seeing your comments or anything, because I'm like locked in right now. So I'll look at it in a minute. This is another book that I've read. It's called Unfuck Yourself, okay? Get out of your head and into your life by Gary Bishop. This is another good one. It's short. It's pretty, easy read. But this has a lot of nice little insights and things. Some good things you could probably come back to. Yeah, I enjoyed this one. He's pretty straightforward. He's a straight talker, kind of like I am. So that's why I like that, because I don't know if you've been sitting here on live, like, I swear a lot, Son swears a lot, he kind of like talks like I do. So thank you for sharing your story. Must have taken a lot of strength. Of course, yeah. I just honestly, like, I'll be honest with you guys, like, I was talking to one of my friends, and this was just weighing on me, and I just think that mindset is so important. When it comes to, like, obviously being a creator, content creator, artist, writer, whatever it is that you are, but just also in general, like, having a positive mindset, really seeing things, even failure, like, really seeing things as opportunities in whatever field that you are, that you're in, is so important. It's hard. It's not easy. It's not easy to get to this point where you can start to see things as opportunistic. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of inner work in yourself. So I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying that it's something you can do overnight. It's something you literally have to practice. And this is another thing that my mentor had said, is that you really do have to practice these things. Just like you work out, you practice drawing, you practice your writing, you do whatever. You have to practice tuning your mindset, tuning these thoughts in your head to a different frequency, if you will. Like, you got negative thoughts. You got to tune it to a different frequency, to a different level, and be very aware of those thoughts coming. And this is something that, like, my therapist told me, was when you start to have these thoughts, you have to catch them as best as you can, and actively switch them to something else, something positive, something helpful, something that really will lift you up, because that's all we got. Like, at the end of the fucking day, all we got is ourselves, to be honest. Like, we got our family, got friends, whatever, but at the end of the day, you're the one in your fucking head. Your friends aren't in your head, your family's not in your head. If you don't believe the shit that you're doing, if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't, have that self-confidence, at the end of the day, it's on you. You know, people can tell you things all day, people can be like saying positive things to you all day, but if you don't believe it because you don't work on your mindset, you're not gonna get very far. So that's why I'm going over this stuff. But let me run through some other stuff. Some of these books, like I said, I haven't finished. Some of them I have. I think I finished this one. This one's Unlimited Memory. This is kind of like a random one, but this was kind of interesting because I had just some brain hacks and things to kind of help you if you're like me, like, you know, possibly a little ADHD. Like, I don't know. It had just some really kind of like interesting things to think about. And again, all these really are educational because, like I said, a lot of the time it just is a matter of you just not knowing about yourself as well as you think you do. Just one thing could be like the thing that really helps you to get more locked in with yourself and get to know yourself better. You know what I mean? This is another good one. The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Peale. This is a little bit more intense, but anything about positive thinking is a good read. What was the hardest part of becoming a webtoon writer? I think there's two things. Two things. Obviously, the technical side. I spent a lot of time before I even had this out for webtoon. Probably over a year of just pre-production, of just not only pre-production, but then like another year before that, like 2023 into 2024 was just learning how to write, researching the industry, understanding how comics are written, screenwriting, screenplay, panel structure, format, just the technical shit, right? So that took a lot of work and a long time, but it was enjoyable because I like learning things, so that's fine. But the other part that was really, really difficult was what I was saying before, actually writing a story with substance. Because with this story, this is actually a story. If you go to my Instagram and you go to like one of my highlights, I talk about how I actually wrote this story like when I was 18. And I had the concept for it. It was like an American story initially about like the military and things like that. But I could never get past a certain point. There was always like a sticking point with this concept that I just could never get past. With them being adults, she always had a kid, she was married. A lot of like San's journey, I just never could really capture that quite as well as I wanted to. And really, it was because I personally didn't have experience. I didn't have experience. I was like 18, 19, 20. I tried again, I think, like in my mid 20s to kind of like come back to it and things. But I still didn't have the insight, the experience. And part of that was because I wasn't woken up. I hadn't gone through the reflection and pulled out my own insights to be able to write this story. So it was only after when I woke up in like 2020 and around 2022, 2023, when I actually started writing again, that I was able to be like, oh shit, okay, I get it now. Like, I kind of understand what it's like to have, like I said, like I showed you the PTSD book. I kind of understand what it would be like to not only be going through it, surviving through it, but what it looks like on the other side. Because one of the things that I really struggled with writing the story was knowing how to write the ending. That that was never something I could get to, and I think part of that was because I was still so much stuck in the pain and the hurt and all the things that I was going through that I couldn't even see a ending for myself in my own life. I couldn't see the ending for my from or the light at the end of the tunnel for myself. So how was I ever going to write the light at the end of the tunnel for my characters? So besides learning the technical side of things, I had to really go through that reflection and be able to see a light at the end of the tunnel for myself and understand the emotional experiences that I went through before I could even ever start to write fully for these characters and to capture what they go through. So I spent a lot of time after realizing that and kind of like reflecting on that. Spent a lot of time going into when I talked about the pre-production a minute ago, in the pre-production phase, going into these characters, their arcs, their journeys, their lives, their emotions, what they feel at different points in the story and things. So hopefully my hope is that that comes through a lot. Maybe not right now too much because we just started, we're only on like episode 6 and things, but as the story progresses, hopefully that comes through a lot because I did spend a lot of time really trying to thoroughly understand these characters so that they not only felt real, because everybody's like, oh, I want like, you know, I want like real characters, like I want them to feel real, but like really feeling like you can relate to these characters' journeys, even if you've never experienced some of the things that they've experienced. Like, she is a mom, single mom, and she's wealthy and things like that. Like, you don't have to fully have lived her life to understand the internal struggles and dilemmas and things that she's going through. And I spent a lot of time really processing with each of the characters what their pain and joy and things like that would be like. And again, to what the question was, the only way that I was able to do that was becoming emotionally intelligent in myself, to really start to understand myself. And then I could understand others. And that's just like a good rule of thumb, like in general in life. Like, if you can truly understand yourself, then you can really start to understand other people. And one of the things that this is kind of like going back to kind of my initial talk, but one of the things that I really that really helped me, if there's any younger people in here, one of the things that really helped me deal with my mother, 'cause personally, again, this is like real talk today, right? Personally, do not have a good relationship with my mother, but again, that was one of my barriers where, like, because I didn't have a good relationship with her, things like that, I always, kind of like blamed her and never really wanted to understand her. Just lots of hurt, lots of pain, lots of anger, things like that. Even up until, I mean, literally up until like yesterday, she's like pissing me off. But like, what I'm trying to say is, like, even up until a certain point in my healing journey, like I'm 25, 26, dealing with her, once I started to really understand myself around that time, understand my triggers, understand what she was saying and why it was upsetting me, understanding that, like, it's okay for me to need time away from her. It's okay to set these boundaries. Boundaries was like a huge fucking theme for me in my later 20s. Learning that I can create boundaries and that it's okay for me to do that. It's safe for me to do that. Especially with my family. Like, if I needed to do that with my family or my mother specifically, it's okay to do that. But what I'm trying to say is that one of the ways that I was able to start to understand those things was to really start to understand myself. So understanding that she pisses me off when she says this. And also understanding her that, wow, like, a lot of the times now I'm like, wow, like, a lot of the shit that we go through is so trivial. And a lot of it isn't even me at this point. A lot of it is just me looking at the situation like, I feel so badly for you that you can't have that same self-reflection and you can't have the same kind of healing that I've had and I've gone through to have these kind of meaningful relationships. That's how I look at my mother now, because I've gone through this personal healing with our relationship and, like, in general with myself. So really understanding that within myself, though, that was my point. Like, really understanding that within myself has allowed me to see her and be like, yeah, no, you're the fucking problem still. Like, no, I'm just kidding. But like seeing it be like, okay, like I know not to engage in this situation, you know, in this conversation. I know when to set those boundaries. I know when she's on her trip and doing saying stuff, and I know to be like, this isn't coming from a place of hate. This isn't coming from a place of really anywhere other than herself. That's when I started to really heal with my relationship with my mom in myself. Our relationship's still shit, but it's that kind of understanding that's allowed me to heal in myself and be like, I'm not really anymore, I'm not contributing anymore to the situation. This situation is mostly now at this point because she hasn't taken the time to heal. So you can consider that for your parents. You can also consider that for like your relationships, like, I don't know, sibling, friends, anything like that. Like, really understanding yourself in depth can really help you to understand other people and see other people differently. And I feel like if more people, took the time to understand themselves and do this kind of like inner work, we would have a lot more empathetic people in the world, and people wouldn't be coming from such tainted places, if that makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, so that's what I have to say about that. But sorry, I'm not looking at the comments because I'm like going on a Walmart employee. Really? Oh my god. You guys are funny. I just watched your video and I thought I wish you would start a live stream. This was so random. It was like weighing on me. It was weighing on me. But let me finish going through these books. So we got Positive No, William Ury. This one was actually pretty interesting. I didn't really get too far in it, but the stuff that I did read of it was really interesting. It's talking about he has another one called Getting to Yes too. But let me see if I remember it. It talks about like how to say no safely and confidently, but mostly in like a business setting. But it could still work. I think it could still apply for other things. So this one was actually pretty interesting. A lot of psychology is behind it, things like this. This is another one that's very talked about in the kind of like self-help space, kind of like entrepreneur space. No, I don't draw my comic. I'm just the writer and the creator. My name's Jane Elise, and today I am venting to you guys. It's a little bit different of a stream, but I'm also sharing my book collection. So hopefully if any of these are interesting to you guys, you might want to pick it up, or you know somebody that might need a book like these. Like, hey, yeah, I think you really need to go to therapy, but maybe you should start with a book first. like low key. But yeah, you can read my story on Lamoon right now. Everything's linked in my bio, and it's called When the Silent Bird Sings. All right. So this is called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Again, another kind of like entrepreneur type book. A little bit older, but still one of like the classics in this space. Okay. Let's see, not that one. What else we got here? I got a lot of, oh, this is another really good one actually. So if you deal with any kind of like trauma, PTSD, sexual trauma, anything like that, this one was another one of those that I literally had to stop because it got too real. But if it's getting too real, that's a good thing. That means you're aware. And if you need to take a break, take some time, do that, in a healthy way. But definitely work on some of these things for sure. This really, I think, is much more about like the, SEX assault type of stuff. But very interesting, very enlightening to have things thought about in this way. Even the title, like The Body Keeps the Score, something that I didn't really think too much about before. And like I said, then reading it, it's by a doctor. Reading it really kind of opened my eyes a little bit. So that's another really good one I would definitely suggest. Let's see. We have, oh, this is another good one. Oh, this is one about family trauma. Uh yeah, It Didn't Start With You. This is a good one. If like I said, if you guys have issues with your parents or your family, like I do, then this is another good one you could read. It Didn't Start With You, okay? Let's see what else we got. I mean, this is just a classic. This was given to me, I think, by my mentor. This is just like a classic book when it comes to entrepreneurship. The Path to Wealth. All right. It's another one. I mean, like I said, I have a shit ton of books. Because, like I said, I spent a lot of time in these last several years going through some self-reflection and things like that. And also being an entrepreneur, because like I said, I had my own business and things before. I was a content creator for many years. So really had to kind of understand what it was that I was getting into. If you're a content creator or a creator in general, this is another really good one to kind of understand the psychology of why things go viral, why people like certain things, which I think is really interesting. And I think especially important now with like how social media is and how kind of like businesses operate off of virality and being able to get, you know, reach and things like that. A lot of these other ones I have are a lot more entrepreneurship and things, but this is another one, another entrepreneur book, but it's by a woman named Jen Sincero. She has this one, You Are a Badass at Making Money, and then she also has another one that's just You Are a Badass. Some affirmations in here, things like that. So if you're more interested in reading from like a female's perspective, also can be very motivational, you know, inspirational. I have a smoothie book, you know, whatever. What else do I got here? I got oh, this was an interesting one. Obsessed, building a brand people love from day one. I was really into branding for a couple years, like really like studying branding and trying to understand it all. So I got this book and it was pretty interesting. There's obviously some things I highlighted in here. So it could be a good one I need to probably reflect back on and reread. This is a classic. It's called The Laws of Human Nature, Robert Greene. I haven't tapped into this personally yet, but they say that this is, you know, like one of the classic books when it comes to like self-help, mindset, things like that. So I need to probably break that open this year for sure. Let's see, we also got, I'm going through all my books. I'm gonna go through all my books just because I know that this is gonna be recorded for my YouTube later, so whoever sees it later can enjoy me rambling about this stuff. Let's see. If you're an artist, a creator, this one is really good. It's a very simple book. Share like an artist. If you're struggling with content, trying to understand how to promote yourself, trying to figure out, you know, how to kind of do the social media thing, and you really have like no idea, but you like reading, this is a good book to grab. And just some, you know, quick reminders in this book. But he talks about mainly about showing your work. That's like his whole thing. This is Austin Kleon. He also has a book called Steal Like an Artist. Um, but he basically says exactly what the title says. Showing your work is so important, and I would say really important nowadays with social media, the way that social media is running right now. Um, it's better to just show up, and even if there's nobody in your lives, nobody watching your content, nobody liking your shit, just keep showing up. Try to have a little bit, of a strategy with it, but just keep showing up and do what you need to do. And the shit does not happen overnight. um I mean, it can happen overnight, but it's usually not how it happens. It's usually not how it works. But it takes consistency. Being a content creator, um being an artist, being a writer, doing anything really takes time, and you have to have the patience, but you also have to have the persistence and the resilience to be able to do this kind of stuff. This is another one. If you're more like me and need something tangible, like a book, this has little reminders. Um, I mean, they have like apps and things that do this, but if you're like me, you like it tangible. I like to do this because it gives me like a little bit of accountability. Like I can actually sit down, I can like physically hold this. Um, this just has little quotes and things here and there, but the whole purpose of it is to basically have something once a day for a whole year. It's called Year of Positive Thinking. That really helped me when I was going through a lot of like mental health stuff, like about 5 years ago, and I would open it up every day and look forward to the next day when I would be able to, read the next quote, so you can kind of get an idea of that. Oh, I'm so glad you liked the comic. Thank you. Thank you for reading and thank you for supporting. Um, these are two of my favorite books right here. Think and Grow Rich and Start with Why by Simon Sinek. He has this TED Talk that's like really well known in like the entrepreneur space and things like that. Um, that I think is also titled Start with Why or something like that. But his whole thing is really understanding on like a deep level why you're doing the shit that you're doing. Really trying to figure out your purpose, so that way it can like drive the direction that you take with things. Um, it's really enlightening because it's like one of those things that it's like, yes, he's talking about business, he's talking about stuff like that, but it's just also something you can bring into your life in general. Like you don't even need to be a business owner or anything to really um, take the message that he's trying to give in that. So that's one of my favorite books. This is a classic, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I tore this one up in the beginning here. Um, this has a lot of, this is like prime entrepreneurship book. This has a lot of gold in here, a lot of mindset stuff, like actual manifestation, quotes and things. And really, he like actually really helps you to um, understand how to manifest. Um, Financial stuff, obviously, but just in general, the concept of manifestation, and which, a lot of people talk a lot about, probably if you've heard about it, but the way that I have gone about it and understood it from reading and, my mentor and things like that is essentially, it's a lot of like, it's, again, a lot of mindset stuff, a lot of energy, kind of playing with your energy and things like that. But essentially, this is another good book. I'll just kind of keep that right there. But essentially, the way that I think about it is like, I really want something, and I have to obviously take, well, personally, I take some time to really understand what it is that I need to do to get to the things that I want. So coming up with a plan, coming up with strategy, things like that, really understanding like what it is I'm gonna have to learn about or have to know. And once I kind of get there, I'm like, okay, I know what I want. I'm fully kind of like, you know, versed on it enough to know the possibilities, or at least be like a little bit more inclined on the possibilities. I want it. I have the plan to get there. And then I just kind of let it go. And I just work hard as shit every single day. And the other thing, I was even just talking about this with my friend, but um the biggest thing about it is letting go of your expectations. There's no expectations. There's no expectations, but you have goals. But goals are not expectations, right? A goal for me would be like, right now we're at almost 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is crazy. It's like been a month. We went from like 1,000 subscribers in May to like 50, almost 50,000 right now. But for me, I'm like, all right, bet. So the next thing that I want to do is get to 100,000. That's my goal. I want to get to 100,000, and that's exciting. It's an exciting goal, and I'm sitting in that. I'm thinking about. I'm putting myself with the energy of like what it would be like to be at 100,000 subscribers, and visualizing myself holding that plaque, that silver plaque that you get, the play button when you get the 100,000, and visualizing like, okay, the emotions that I'm gonna have, like sharing that moment with my son. My son is almost 11 years old, and like being able to show him like literally anything is possible. Like we can do this, you can do this. Putting myself fully into the emotions of like what that would be, the energy of what that would be, but then just letting it go and just being like, all right. And now I just work hard every fucking day and see what happens. And if, you know, it doesn't happen in the time frame that I initially wanted it to, like right now I have a goal, not an expectation, but a goal of, by the end of August, I want to have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. If it doesn't happen by then, that's fine. I'm going to adapt. I'm going to look at my strategy. I'm going to see what I need to do to change to get to, you know, 100,000 eventually. If it happens before then, that's also really awesome. And all I'm going to do is, you know, obviously sit there with that play button and have all those emotions and things. But then I'm going to be like, all right, what's the next goal? And what do I need to do to achieve the next goal? And that's kind of how I interpret manifestation and energy, and like how to sort of like get the things you want. And again, not like at the beginning of what I was saying earlier, not every time are you going to get the things that you want. Even when you manifest, sometimes things aren't going to happen in the time that you thought of it happening, like the goals that you set. Sometimes barriers might come up. Sometimes you might break your leg at your college, like I did. Like hopefully not, but whatever happens happens. Like shit's going to happen. Shit can happen, right? Life can happen when you manifest. But the whole point is that you're like actively making strides towards the things that you want. Manifestation is not, I want something and then I didn't get it, so oh shit, that didn't work. Like, oh, manifestation is stupid. Like, oh, it's hocus pocus. No. It's all about you holding the thing that you want in your mind, in the energy that it is, really embodying it, embracing it, and embracing the journey that you're about to go on with it, and then simply just putting it to the side and then working your ass off to get it, and whatever that means. And if something detours you towards something else, the way that I look at like detours and path changes is that, like I said initially, like sometimes it works out for the better. Like I'm not with my ex and my life is 1,000 times better than it was. uh even though I broke my leg, like there's so much more that happened that was positive out of that than there was negative. And one of the things that came out positive from that is that I wrote my story in that time, competed in the contest for Webtoon, and have started this journey. And specifically, I think I said a little bit earlier, but I'm kind of like off on a rant right now. But what happened recently with me is that because I broke my leg, I had all these like medical things going on the last year and a half. It kind of came to a point this past semester, the spring semester, and I got dropped from the program I was in. I was in a digital marketing program, and because I had too many medical things going on, I couldn't get through the courses and things. I ended up getting dropped from the program, and it was really upsetting because that was kind of my manifestation, right? That was like my goal. I was like, oh, I want to get my degree and go off and do what I need to do with that. But there was always another plan, and the other plan was that I don't happen to get through college for some reason. What happens then? If I don't finish this degree again, what happens then? And I've always had this as my backup, or one of my backups. And as soon as I embraced the change, things completely fucking popped off. Like I could have never imagined. And I sat in that and I was like, all right, so I'm going to take this as a sign from the universe that this is where I'm supposed to be at right now. And it's not when I thought it was going to be. It's not how I thought it was going to happen. But I'm going to take it as a sign from the universe that this is what I'm supposed to be. Because as soon as I got dropped from the program, like the beginning of May, as soon as I made the decision, like a week later, to fully invest into my comic and my business, it's now the middle of July. We're at, again, almost 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, monetized, making money from the comic, from Patreon, from the YouTube, almost 30,000 on TikTok, almost 30,000 on Instagram. And when I say that, basically we started from zero on all these accounts. We basically started from zero. Facebook's at almost 8,000. The numbers obviously aren't the point, but it's the fact that as soon as I took that opportunity, everything started to change. So that's what I was talking about earlier with, like, I could have seen that as a barrier. I lost not only the degree that I was in, but my veteran benefits. And a lot of other things have happened since then that are not too great. But I could have let that destroy me. And instead, I took that energy and I put it into working nonstop on this comic and investing into finally getting to invest into this, which has been really nice because I've been wanting to obviously invest a lot more time into my comic and be able to come live and like do a lot more with it. But again, like sometimes the universe will force you into these situations, and it's because sometimes it's because you're not making the decision yourself. Since I broke my leg, I've been sitting here kind of like every semester since last spring. I've been kind of like, I kind of feel like that was the universe telling me to stop going to college. Like, I was like, kind of feel like that was the one that was like the sign, because I've probably been asking for a sign. Should I stop going to school and should I start working on my business? And the universe was like, bet, break your leg, and then you don't have to go back to school. But instead of doing that, I kept going to school, and it's whatever, it's the path that I chose. But this past semester, obviously, like I said, it got cut off forcefully for me. And then I had to make the decision. And so right now, again, I'm being very personal with you guys right now. But right now, I'm looking at it like, do I want to go back to school in the fall? Like, there's another month and a half or so. I could go to a different college, I can finish my degree, I'd use different veteran benefits. And, you know, my spirit is really telling me, like, bro, like, you already broke your leg, they kicked you out of school, like, do you not get it? Like, that's kind of like the vibe I'm getting, is like, this is the chance to really focus on your businesses, and you'd be really stupid to go back to school. Like, that's honestly like the vibe I get. That's like what my higher self is like telling me. So at the end of the day, I still have to make that decision, but the point is of what I'm saying is that sometimes things happen forcefully. You got to change your mindset about things, and take a lot of time to really um, consider the riskier option for some things. Like, it'd be kind of a risk for me to not go back to school in the fall, but I'm also really kind of open to the idea of being able to focus fully on my comic and doing the things that I've been working on for the last 6 years. Because I started my business journey 6, 7 years ago, and I've been also in school for 6 or 7 years and getting my degree. And this would be the first time that I'm like actually able to fully invest my time into it. And I have a good feeling that if I take that riskier opportunity that really puts a lot of fear into me, really puts a lot of, really taps into a lot of those shadowy places in me, right? That we have to take these books and we have to really work through, you know? It really taps into a lot of those places for me. But at least for me, you know, every time I have taken or made a decision that's been the riskier decision, the scarier decision, somehow it's always worked out. And it might not have worked out right when I wanted it to, but it's worked out in some fucking way in my life. And I'm not saying like, oh, I'm like good luck Charlie or some stupid shit. What I'm saying is, even if it's contributed to my self growth as a person, it's always sort of worked out. It's always been part of my journey in being able to say, I am who I am. And what I was just thinking about when I said that was when I was 16, I grew up on the beach here. So when I was like 16, I decided I wanted to be a lifeguard. Now, this is a funny story because I wanted to be a lifeguard. I didn't know how to swim. Feel like so serious right now. Like, I didn't know how to fucking swim at all. But I don't even know that. God, that was so long ago. I don't even know like what made me want to be a lifeguard. Um, Specifically, like what was the moment I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a lifeguard. But like, I think just growing up on the beach and like we see the lifeguards and like, I don't know if I just was like, oh, it would be cool to like be able to do that, or like I don't know what the fuck it was initially. But also a big part of me at that point in my life, I wanted to help people a lot. And that was kind of my way of like doing that, because I know I had a lot of pride in being a lifeguard at that point and like being able to help people and save people. But this is what happened. I didn't know how to swim. The test that we had to do for the lifeguard test for the beach, for to be a beach lifeguard, we had to be there at like 6 in the morning. I remember, it's so vivid in my mind. We had to be there at 6 in the morning at the beach, and we were gonna do like a swim. So it was like we gotta swim out to the buoy, across, and then back, and then I think like we had to like run across to the other, like to where we started or some shit. Um, Now I knew I could do the running, but I had never actually swam out that far in the ocean. Even growing up here, I had never even swam out to the buoy. And I'm deathly afraid of the ocean. Now, part of the reason why I wanted to be a lifeguard was because I wanted to also conquer my fear of the water. Now, I'm still definitely afraid of the ocean, like even to this day. So sometimes when I think back on how I actually became a lifeguard and was sitting out on the board in the middle of the fucking water, I must have been so dissociated because like I cannot even go in the ocean anymore. Like I'm so afraid of sharks and shit. Um so, so anyway, so I remember everybody started to come and I sat there and I was like, oh, like my mom had dropped me off. I was like, oh, maybe I should just act like I'm sick and I need to go home. Like I got so nervous. I was making excuses. I was like, damn, I don't, this was a mistake. Like they didn't even fucking give us a chance to breathe. Like as soon as like most of the people got there, they all like they had us kind of like they shepherded us to like the edge of the water and they're like, all right guys, everybody here, yeah, yeah, count, count, count. Okay. All right, so yeah, 3, 2, 1, go. And like that was it. And, like I didn't know what the fuck to do. And I guess we just all had to like run into the water and swim and do this fucking test. But like it's so much adrenaline from just being so nervous, but then also like what the fuck, like what are we doing? I actually managed to do it, but I had been one of the last ones and then eventually the last person to come in because I was basically like drowning at one point. Like I was like drowning at one point. They actually had to get the lifeguard out to come get me from the water, and like help me like guide me back to the shore. But I was so proud of myself after that. Like I didn't know if I was gonna actually pass or be a lifeguard or anything, but I was just so proud of myself that I had done that. I have a point in this. I'm like kind of losing the point, but like I had a point when I started talking about this. Um, it was just like a really funny story. But I managed to become a beach lifeguard. I don't know. I don't really remember too much like after that. I think I had to do like another test in the pool and almost didn't even make that. Like I don't know. Somehow I got the job. But I got the job and I worked my ass off for those 2 or 3 summers I was a beach lifeguard, and in the off season too, training and learning how to swim. I got so good at swimming. I was already athletic anyway, but I got so good at swimming, and I actually became one of the fastest guards to be able to like take the board and like go out and rescue people and come back. Um, I just got like really good at it. But I don't know why I was talking about that though. I had a point. I think I was talking about like being afraid. Oh, no, I was talking about shit not working out. Yeah, I never thought I'd be a lifeguard because I was so scared of the water. But when I think about that now, and I'm like, that was a real risk. Like I could have fucking died. I could have been the one to like end up needing the lifeguard, but that was a risky kind of decision. Um, it became one of the best decisions I had because not only did I make a bunch of friends and it was just like a really great time, like being a beach lifeguard on a small beach, like small town beach, was just so nice. Like just very like community, like I have so many memories from that time. Very like if you think about like the summer I turned pretty, like that's kind of like the vibe. Like it was just so chill. So just so many good memories from just taking that risk again, taking that risk, changing my life, growing so much from that. As a person, I became so much more responsible. Because I was, a lifeguard, like in charge of people's lives and shit, and going through the training, like the medical training, everything at that age was, I think, just really shaped myself at that point. Eventually, I went to the military. I joined the Air Force right after high school, like literally the summer after high school. That was another risky decision. I didn't know what to do, um, what I was getting into, and I decided to go into the military. So I think what I was saying though with all that was like a lot of the decisions in my life that I've made that have been the ones with the least uh, certainty have always somehow worked out, whether it just worked out or it's made it's helped me to grow so much as a person. Um, so if you have these opportunities that might come for you and they feel scary or uncertain and you're just not sure, like obviously do your due diligence and look into it and stuff like that, but um sometimes consider taking that more riskier decision. So like for me, like this next semester, I might take off and actually invest into my comic writing, the business side of things, and see what happens. Like who knows, maybe I'll get to that 100,000 goal soon for the subscribers on YouTube. Maybe you know, like goals, not expectations, but maybe we'll be fully financially funded and then I can make more comic episodes and this can actually get to the point that I wanted it to be at. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but whatever happens, I know that I'm growing as a person and I know that I have faith that things will work out in the time that they're going to work out, and everything that we go through here is all just part of the journey. I'm 31. I'm gonna be 32. So let me go back to my books here. So Think and Grow Rich, like I said, another really classic, great one. This one's called The 1 Minute Manager. This is an interesting one. It's really short. It's very compact, but if you struggle with trying to like manage your time, this could be like a good one to read. Just super quick. It's like 50 pages or something. Like not even 100 pages, but it's pretty good. It has some good tips and things, accountability and things like that. Now I showed this one earlier, but I didn't talk about it. This also goes into one of my favorite books category here. So I have 3. I'm actually going to put them aside so that they're easier to grab later. Atomic Habits I read in 2020, and it really changed a lot of my perspective on how to approach different types of things that you want to do. At that time when I was reading this book, I was getting back into fitness. I also started my own business, so I needed to manage my time a lot better and really manage myself a lot more, and also learn how to become like a self-starter, because when you're an entrepreneur you have to essentially become like a self-starter. You have to become self-reliant. Nobody's going to tell you what to do. You have to have that motivation. You got to have that dog in you, if you will, right? This book really helps you with that, and it really holds your hands. It gives you a lot of like examples. It like, I think at some point like breaks it down for you in a chart, like how you can do it. But this is a good book, not only just for entrepreneurship, but just like in general too. Like it could be good for if you're trying to like start some fitness goals, if you're just trying to, you know, do some study habits and things like that, or just like regular routine things. Like it allows you to be very mindful about your actions. So I highly recommend this book. It's by James Clear. Atomic Habits: The Tiny Changes, Remarkable Results. Build good habits and break bad ones. This is so essential. I feel like anybody should really have that book. Like it doesn't even matter like what you're doing. And that is actually one of the books that I read all the way through. I know I have like a lot of books I haven't finished, but this is called The Little Red Book of Selling. I did finish this one. Kind of like an older book. It's a little bit more of like one of those like kind of classic kind of books. It did have some good points. It might be like a little outdated with the stuff that's in here, but I think like in general, like some basic psychology, sales psychology and things like that. If you are an entrepreneur or you're looking to start your own business or something like that, it's just, you know, kind of interesting book to have in your collection. Let's see what else I got. I have another branding book here. This one's called Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. And this one's also pretty interesting. Again, like I said, I was really into like building or branding for the first couple years of my business. This one, I did actually read this one all the way through, and I'm just trying to like remember what exactly this was though. Oh, okay. Yeah, so this book is really nice because it really allows you to think of branding from like a storyteller kind of point of view rather than like even like a business point of view. Like, so it really humanizes the brand creation process. And I know that this actually did help me when I was making my other business and really trying to find the brand story and things like that for my other business. And I remember it being so hard for some reason. Like, it was like I knew what the brand was that I made, but it was so hard to find like the words, the format of the messaging and things like that. You like my voice? Thank you. And this really helped. This really helped to put it into perspective. So I would say that's probably actually one of my other favorite books, just because it was so helpful. Let's see what else we got here. I haven't finished reading this book, but I've also heard some things about it. It's really interesting. Hidden Messages in Water. Um, so if you are familiar with like energy and kind of like things like that, this one might be interesting to you if you haven't read it already. Excuse me. It talks about basically how okay. How to explain it? It's like the power of words, the power of positivity, and it uses these water kind of like it uses water as kind of a way of showing that, where I think they did an experiment where they talked like positively to like a glass of water or something like that, and then measured like the way that the molecules looked or something like that, and then compared that to people like yelling at the water and like things like that. And they just found that as you can see with these pictures, they found that there's like they like change shape and things depending on the energetic frequency, I believe, that's given to the water. So very interesting kind of thing. And again, if you're like really into like mindset, energy, really kind of like shifting your perspective on things and kind of like a holistic kind of a thing, this is definitely an interesting book to have to look at. I am gonna need a coffee pretty soon here. Okay, so let's see what else we got. This is the book that I mentioned earlier, by Jen. You Are a Badass. I haven't finished reading this one. Just some more mindset stuff. Hello. Let's see what else. We got Secrets of Six-Figure Women. So if you're a female looking to start a business or change your mindset on things, this could be an interesting book to read. Secrets of Six-Figure Women. I'm almost done. I'm like a little more than halfway through right now. Ooh, Okay, this is another one, Made to Stick by Chip Heath and Dan Heath. Now, I remember this book being about like how people interpret like different ideas and things. And it was pretty interesting, like some of the psychology behind like what makes people like certain things, like consumers, what makes consumers like certain things. Um, but it's more of, it's like kind of like a heavier novel kind of vibe. A little bit anecdotal. Like the guys kind of like, I think if I remember correctly, like the guys just kind of like talk about their situation. If I'm remembering that correctly. So it felt like a little dry, but some of the psychology concepts were interesting. Okay, so now I can kind of move this stuff around a little bit. Let's do that. Ooh, okay, I'm almost done, guys. I hope this helps somebody if anybody rewatches this later. I have so many books. Oh my god. The smoothie one makes me want to get a smoothie, but I think I'm gonna get a coffee. I'm gonna be bad. Get a coffee and probably like a bagel or something. Alright. And then at the end, I'll kind of go through the ones that I like the most. How many chapters in the manhwa? There's 6 episodes right now. They're out. The first 5 are like free, except for one of the episodes, like one of the sections is NSFW, so that one is not. But you can read it on a platform called Lemoon. It's LEMOON, and it's all linked to my bio too, so you can get it there. All right. So some of these books here I haven't read yet. Hello. But I bought them for a reason, so I don't remember what the reason is. But I have them. So we have Third Circle Theory. I don't even remember what this one is about. But yeah, I have that one, and let's see what else we got. I also have Whatever It Takes by Brandon Bornanson. It says master the habits to transform your business, relationships, and life. And I guess I did start to read this one a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty, I think, simple advice and things, so that could be interesting to read. Let's see. Your next 5 moves, master the art of business strategy. This is one that I still want to finish. Yeah, this is really good for if you're an entrepreneur and you're just trying to like figure out what you need to do. This kind of runs through some of that stuff there. I'm gonna leave that out actually because I might want to read that later. Okay, I'm kind of like skipping around a little bit. So we have the 4-Hour Work Week. This is another one of those like classic kind of books. But yeah, Timothy Ferris. And this is also another classic book, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. This is probably right up there, I think, with the Think and Grow Rich. Sorry, I just like blanked out for a second. The Think and Grow Rich book, wherever that one is. This one and the other one, I think, really go hand in hand really well. This one's a little bit more like Again, anecdotal, I think would be like the right way to say it. He talks a lot about like his own life and things, but he does also educate. Whereas like Think and Grow Rich, I think is much more of a um gives you like much more of a structure for how to do different things. Okay, so we have, let's see, How to Do the Work by Dr. Nicole LePera. It says, recognize your patterns, heal from your past, and create yourself. That sounds like we need that. It sounds really interesting. Yeah. This one I think would be really good. If you struggle with any of that. So how to do the work. Let's see, we have Blue Ocean Strategy. I have another Blue Ocean book too. Where is it? I don't think I have it over here. But let's see. No. Okay. Well, there's Blue Ocean Strategy. And I think there's like something else. Yeah, this again is like one of those. Oh, Help My Ocean is Turning Red. Is that the other one? Yeah, this talks a lot about like markets and stuff. A lot of business stuff in that one. Okay, we have. I haven't read this one yet. Limitless by Jim Quick. I haven't read that one yet. Two more Robert Kiyosaki books. Rich Dad, Smart Kid, Rich Kid, and also Cash Flow Quadrant. So just like two different types of books. I think I bought this one because I was in business school, and he talks about this quadrant right here, and he talks about it in depth, if I remember correctly about that one. And then this one I try to get for my son, but I don't know. I have to like take some time to like look into it a little bit. Okay, so that is gonna fall over. So let me see what else I need to do here. All right, this is another one. I have a few more. This is called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. Another sort of like marketing book, marketing business book. All right, so this one. Okay, so we did these. I'll do these. All right, we have. Okay, this is a writing book. Customer satisfaction is worthless. Customer loyalty is priceless. How to make customers love you, keep them coming back, and tell everyone they know. By Jeffrey Gitomer. This one had kind of a lot going on in it, if I remember correctly, so that's why I dropped it. But I might pick it back up. We'll see. Alright, let's see. The 10 Times Rule. This is also another good one. I should probably finish this one actually. Up there. Hello. Okay. And that's for writing, and this is not for writing. Okay, so I have this. No, wait. Yeah. This one, Superfans. This one talks about like how to make people become like super fans of your business and not just regular fans. So that one's interesting. Let's see. Change Your Paradigm. Okay, so this one, Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life by Bob Proctor. And if I remember correctly, Bob Proctor is somebody that made like something else, I thought, or like some kind of like system or something, some like mindset system. I forget exactly what it was. But yeah, so or he's like maybe he's like a meditation guy. I remember his name. I don't remember exactly like what he did though. You love the stories? Oh, that's so great. I'm so glad that you like it. Thank you for supporting. But yeah, so change your paradigm, change your life. I'm actually gonna keep that out because I feel like I need to read that. Super fans. Okay, so story. Okay, so compound effect. We have compound effect. This is another one that I haven't read yet. Of course, we have to have at least one Tony Robbins book. But this is the Money Master the Game book. I haven't finished reading this. I don't think I really got too far. It's a big book. There's a lot of content in it. But I really liked Tony Robbins for a while. I was listening to him all the time when I was like in my kind of like self-help era, I guess. I even like attended one of his online what do you call it, like seminars, and it was pretty interesting. Actually, one of the things he talked about that I really liked was it had to do with energy, which was kind of like what I was talking about earlier. One of the things he had us do was jump up and down. I'm talking about Tony Robbins right now. He had us in the seminar jumping up and down to, he said it like activate, sort of like activating the energy that we would have needed for something. I forget like exactly how he was wording it. But basically just kind of like doing some like kind of physical movements to activate some kind of energy, and kind of like align yourself with the task that you were doing or something like that. But it was pretty interesting. I'm gonna have to look that up again, exactly like how he was describing it, because it was really interesting. I did feel like it worked, because it was part of like manifestation. It was like, you have to have the energy to before you do anything, you have to have the energy to, like, you have to like meet the energy, like match the energy. Anyway, I'm gonna look it up later because I'm just curious. I don't remember what it was. But he was interesting. I felt like he was pretty positive, and things like that. So I bought his book, The Magic of Big Thinking, or Thinking Big, by David Schwartz, PhD. Really kind of like finance book and things like that. All right, I got a couple more. Let's see. These are writing books, but this one is, I think, one of my last kind of, yeah, I think this is like one of my last mindset books that I have here. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. This is another one of those classic books, kind of like the Think and Grow Rich. Dale Carnegie is another one of those people that I think is like one of the pioneers, like Bob Proctor and things like that, if I remember correctly. All right, so the only other books I have here that I wanted to share are writing books, and I'm still working through some of these books, so I can't give like a full review on how they all work, or would work, but hold on. All right. Let's see. All right. So if you guys are writers or comic creators or anything like that, I have a couple books. Again, like I said, I haven't read all these books, but I was given them to me by somebody else. So we have Crafting Scenes Novelist Essential Guide to Crafting Scenes, Raymond Feld. Um, so I'm gonna keep this one out too because I'm curious. I haven't read that one, like I said. So, just be curious to see. I'm gonna put it over here. Actually, the ones I want to read, I'm gonna put over there. Alright. Okay. I have Romancing the Beat, by Gwen Hayes. I bought this because I wasn't sure what kind of a book it would be. It's really short, obviously. Excuse me. I actually used Romancing the Beat for this story. The specific beats that it talks about I thought were really interesting. And I initially kind of started with like a hero's journey beat outline and eventually switched over to the Romancing the Beat because I saw there was a lot of crossover between this one and the hero's journey. And since my story is a romance drama, but it's a romance drama, but it centers around the male lead. That's why I liked it, because I would have had to use probably like the hero's journey anyway. So this just kind of allows me to put them together and make it make sense, for having like a male lead. I don't think the book really does much more than what the stuff online has for that, so I don't know if I could really suggest buying the book. Let me see what else, because you can just find it online too. Copywriting. This is more for like marketing, but this is a good book for copywriters. I worked a little bit doing that before, so if you happen to have that as a job or need to learn about it, that would be a good book. And then, let's see what we got. There's 3 or 4 more books. Paradox of Choice, Why More is Less, How the Culture of Abundance Robs Us of Satisfaction, by Barry Schwartz. This one's interesting. Another sales book and things, but I just wanted to mention it because I did find it interesting. The psychology behind, I like buyer psychology and consumer psychology, so oh good, I'm glad you like it, because I'm like I'm running out of energy here. I'm gonna have to get coffee here pretty soon. But I also haven't slept yet, so like I need to go to bed soon. I've been going to bed like so late. But yeah, so 2 more books, and then I'll just get these out of the way actually. These are just 2 workbooks that I was given by another fellow like writer. This one's First Draft in 30 Days by Karen Weisner, and this is good if you're like a novelist, or anything like that. It really breaks everything down. I haven't finished reading it, but what I have read was actually really interesting, so I can definitely recommend something like that. And then there's an accompanying book here, From First Draft to Finished Novel, Karen Weisner. Again, really like detailed kind of way of approaching novel writing, which I guess technically isn't really relevant here since it's kind of like comics and things like that, but just in general, good advice for storytelling. Okay, so then there's these last 2 books here. Let me just get some water real quick, take like a 5-second break. Oh, and I might actually order something to eat right now before I continue, so give me 1 second. Let's see if I can. Let's see what's going on here. So I got like real tonight and or today and talked a lot about myself. That wasn't my intention, but really just to share a little bit more about like where the inspiration and things comes from, and how I write for the story. um all right, let me see, I'm gonna order coffee, I think. Mm. All right, I'm just whoops, I'm just ordering something to eat real quick, but in the meantime, if you guys don't know, my name is Jenny Elise Rivera, and I created When the Silent Bird Sings. Created and wrote the story. I work with a team of artists that do the artwork. But you can read this on a platform called Lemoon. It's LEMOON, and you can find everything, the link in my bio, on YouTube and on TikTok. Um, uh, excuse me. You can read it on an app called Lemoon. It's LEMOON. So it looks like this right here. Lemoon, LEMOON. Alright, I definitely need a coffee. Give me like 1 minute. Um, let's see. That and then that. Am I Korean? No. I'm American. I am Cape Verdean and Puerto Rican. Okay, I'm just ordering in 1 second. Okay, I think we're good here. Okay. All right, coffee has been ordered. Okay. Yo, oh my god, I just watched your videos. Okay, bet. Um, okay. What was I talking about? Okay, I'm gonna finish doing these books here. A couple more. So this is one that I read on live before. I actually like this one. This one we went through like I think the first chapter, or like the first something, the first two chapters or something, and it was actually really insightful. Read through it, reflected on and my own story with it on live, and yeah, it's called The Story Solution by Eric Edson. Um, I was told to get it from my editor, and it focuses on. Ooh, excuse me. It focuses on like screenplay, screenwriting, stuff like that, which would be really good for comic writers and things, or if you're trying to make a comic, because webtoons are kind of similar to TV shows. So I'm gonna put that over here. And then the only other book that I have, I can't recommend this because I haven't actually read it yet. But the couple things that I did like look through, honestly, didn't seem very interesting, even though it's supposed to be like the webtoon school or whatever. Yeah, I thought I was gonna have a lot more information on how to make a comic, like more specific, kind of like step by step processes. Um, but yeah, it doesn't. So pretty disappointing. But this is a thing. So I mean, I guess if you're a webtoon creator, like just starting out, and you're trying to look for some books, like this is a book that they have, but I'm not really sure about the quality of it or whatever. Hi, I'm a fan. Thank you. Thanks for being here and supporting the comic. Love your drawings, by the way. Thank you. Um, so, yeah, that's all I got for the books and things. I'm just standing up because I'm like so tired. I need to like stand up for a second. But yeah, so let me see. I might actually, stop this live so that way I can cut off on me talking about the books and kind of like rambling. And then maybe I'll wait for my coffee to come. It says it should be, oh, it says it's gonna be a while, huh? It's like 9:30. Yeah, I think I might come back on later then. Come back on when I get my coffee and stuff like that. If I don't come on, then I don't know, we'll say Sunday. Maybe I can come on later or something. Maybe later tonight. I do want to draw a little bit, possibly. So I'm not really sure when I'll come back on, but this has been like a really super informal live today. But like I said, at least if you've been here since the beginning, very informal, but I just had to sort of get through some of that because it was kind of weighing on me a little bit. I had talked a little bit about some of that kind of stuff earlier, so just kind of wanted to share that, my personal experience, how that really did tie into writing the story, and yeah. So before I go, why do you make croutons? What do you mean? Before I go, do you guys have any questions, or do you want to like chat about something else about this topic before I go? Share any of your own stuff, like anything kind of about this before we switch topics. Maybe I'll go through some of the comments. Probably like none of these people are here, but let me see. Because I like totally popped off earlier. I wasn't even like looking at the comments. Yeah, I don't live in the Philippines. I live in the US. Again, it's on Lamoon. It's called When the Silent Bird Sings. No, I have a foul mouth. Somebody said, girl, there's kids watching this. Stop cursing. Well, the kids need to get off my live. That is how I talk. That's how I talk, literally in person. So, and I'm never gonna filter myself for anybody. But my comic and my content is for 18 plus. I know that there are some kids on my channel, but it's really hard to tell which one of you guys are not 18 and it feels a little weird to sit there and kind of like have to go through everybody. All I can say for that is go play outside and do something else. I have a 10-year-old, so that's what I tell him to do and not be on YouTube. So that's what I can say about that. Coconut. I was watching Coconut. I love song Coconut Sailor. What? Yeah. I'm so glad that you guys like the art and the comic, and I appreciate the gifts. I think some people had sent some gifts and things, so I really appreciate that on YouTube. Thank you so much for the supporting messages. I'm a big fan. I watch all your videos. Oh, thanks so much for all the love and stuff, guys. Really appreciate it. Is the art AI? No. No, it isn't AI. It isn't AI drawing. No, it's not. Yeah. I hear the saxophones coming louder. Yeah. I just posted a video the other day about the whole AI thing. And let's see. So if you go to the videos, I did post a video, like a regular video of me chatting about our experience that we had recently with somebody taking a video of ours and running it through AI. Please don't do that. Please don't do that with any content that you come across. I think it's really, really stupid that YouTube even allows that to be an option, but apparently if you upload a video and you click on audio remixing and video remixing, like the button that does both of them, it will allow people to literally throw that video into AI and shit out another type of video. So when I saw that video, I was really upset. For obviously for me, but a lot for my artists too, because I know how hard they work on their art, and we already get AI allegations. So I didn't really talk about this in the video, but one of the things that really was annoying to me was like, we already get AI allegations, and the way that they had done the art, or like they had run it through AI, it basically made it look almost identical, but with that little bit of like an AI look to it. And I was like, great, so if they start posting this kind of stuff of our content, people are definitely gonna think that that it's AI, or they're gonna misconstrue like which the actual video, or which one is the actual video, um, and which one's AI. So I was like, that's just gonna make it more difficult for us to be able to make this content stand out, amongst all of the AI shit. If we have people making AI videos of our literal content. So, like I said, I switched that thing off, that whatever option off, for my videos when I go to post. So hopefully that helps, to prevent that. So no, we're not AI. All these videos and everything you see here is all hand drawn by my art team. You can read the story on Lemoon. It's Lemoon. Where is it? It's right here. It's like a little lemon icon. You can get on the Google Play Store and the App Store. I'm pretty sure. I only have iPhone stuff, Apple, so I got a brand new idea. I got a brand new saxophone. It's on description. Okay, where description? You know, like when they join in that where description. Okay. Oh my god. I don't make BL, but there are some BL on Lemoon if you're interested in that. On our channel when they join. Okay. Yeah. So there's like definitely like some kids or something that were on here earlier. My favorite manga is bad. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Oh, somebody said something random. I have to go. Okay. Actually, now that I'm looking at that person's account, I feel like I've maybe blocked them before, because they're like 10 or something. Like I think I remember that person's username. Thank you. Walmart employee, that shit was funny. Alright, I think I'm caught up. The videos, hello, hi. What is that picture? I wonder, what is that? Picture comment is so nice. Okay, yeah, so hi bro, your video. Yes bro, if you read my comments, please say hello. I was just watching your ex is your doctor. Okay, yeah. I just posted that new reel this morning. It's so funny. I do use an iPad. It's an iPad. I think it's like M4 chip or something like that. 1 TB. Hello. You ever read a comic called The Gently Raised Kitten? I have not. You're a good reader and fine choice of books. Okay, good. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that part. It sounds like you have been through a lot. Yeah. Everybody's kind of gone through things though. But I had a point with everything that I was saying earlier. I might have gone on a few different tangents, but there was a point somewhere in there. Atomic Habit. I have this book just sitting on my shelf, but never read. Oh, totally. You gotta read it. For sure. It's actually like a huge game changer. That one they're talking about there is this one here. This one here. This is the one I was talking about earlier. Atomic Habits. This is like such a good book, but it's so good even if you're not trying to do like any business stuff or like anything like that. It just really applies to life in general, like anything you're trying to do. Like, I don't know, if you need to wake up at a certain time every day, like it teaches you how to do that. It's so good. Red Eye. Hi, bro. Um, okay. Thank you. Tell about any romantic things. Hello, I love your content. Thank you. Bro, I don't know China's. And hello to that one gay. You're my queen, okay? Thank you. It's apt to see the story of your OC. Okay. Our other episode's gonna come. So our episodes launch on the 17th, the 7th, or the 7th, the 17th, and the 27th right now. So just, it doesn't even matter what day it is. That's just like the schedule right now. What I meant by like what day it is like it's not like a Tuesday specifically or something. It's just like the 7th, the 17th, and the 27th. So we just had the 7th launch. So we're gonna have the episode, or I'm sorry, what did I just say? Oh my god. I think I'm losing it over here. We just launched an episode on the 7th, and we launch again on the 17th. I don't know what I just said. Can you make one video BL? So we have memberships on TikTok and YouTube and also Instagram. But for the memberships, we're gonna be doing like custom stuff. Like it can be like whatever you guys want. So if you guys want some BL, as long as it's like, obviously it still has to kind of follow the you know, the platform guidelines and things like that. We can kind of just do whatever for the membership. And I did add a new tier. I don't know if I can see it on here, but I did add a new tier that is, I think, $6.99 or it's like $4.99 or something like that. Because my higher tier is $14.99, and that is the one to do the custom animations and things. We would do like, you know, I don't know, maybe a couple a month or something, depending on how many people are in there. Or I keep saying custom animations, but what I mean is like the reels. But yeah, so depending on how many people would join would depend on like how many we could do. But yeah, that's the higher price. So I have that at $14.99. You'd actually get the video. But the I think it's like $6.99 or $4.99. You can do that, support the channel. There's like a couple other perks, but the main one is just that you'd be able to send in some suggestions, I think, or something like that. I have to double check, but that would kind of be like a interesting suggestion tier, I guess. Kind of like a, hey, I have this idea, would like to see it, possibly, type of a thing. And also, like I said, I think because like $14.99, it seemed like people felt like that was like a little high. So I was like, let's do kind of like a mid-range rate, and hopefully that allows more people to be able to join on. But yeah, we could do like BL, like we could do like whatever on that. Okay. How many chapters? I'm so glad you liked the story. Hello. Am I American? I am American. I love it so much. If you have a new video, I literally click on it. I'm so glad to know that we try to do, you know, like videos here and there and things, but definitely for this next couple videos, like I'm gonna try to make them a little bit shorter, because these ones I've been doing are kind of longer. So you'll still have them, but they just might be like a little bit shorter. Okay, let's see what else they said. Okay. All right, so that's everything. That was everything on YouTube. So I'm going to turn the TikTok live off and um let's see. Um okay. And then if you guys have nothing else on YouTube, then I will talk to you guys later. But let me just close this out. Okay. All right, guys, thank you for hanging out and listening to me ramble. Um, Again, this was mostly just to have the video for YouTube, so that it'll just always be there. Uh, but yeah. Hi, I'm like literally about to hop off. I've been on for a while, like an hour and a half or so, or almost like 2 hours. But again, I'll talk to you guys later and have a good. I'm like literally about to leave, but have a good rest of your day and